Welcome back to Coach-to-Coach. Today's guest is Adam Victor. Adam is a coach specializing in change in this ever-changing world. Adam and I met through Jamie Smart's Clarity Coach training. Thanks for joining us today, Adam. It's so nice to see you.
It's a delight to be here. Thank you so much for hosting me.
My pleasure to have you. The way I like to start these off is to ask what first sparked your interest in coaching?
Well, there's a couple of answers to that. There's, I suppose, the practical and the life lived version.
Mm,
I first started coaching and approaching the world of coaching, so getting training and beginning to coach people in groups a bit more than a year ago now. And it just it's strange. It seems to me that our lives are many lives in one.
mm,
And there are times when we move from one life to another. One of the fabulous things about coaching, there are lots of change-making professions and ways of giving, but one of the fabulous things is it's forward-looking and it's about co-creating the life you like to live, realizing your dreams or leaving behind things that don't serve you anymore. And it became clear to me that this is what I was put on the earth to do. It took me 60 years of living. So that's the practical thing. The lived life piece is that aren't human beings fascinating?
mm.
It's
Indeed.
all of the differences there are between us. We look different, we sound different, we have different experiences, but at heart we share the same hardware and more. So much imprinting, DNA that has come down through the ages. We are, if you look at it from our end of the binoculars, the culmination of evolution
Mm,
from all time, until the next generation comes along and takes that. So I've always been fascinated in people, and that's about listening. That's about asking questions. That's about following curiosity,
mm.
which happen to be the absolute core of what coaching is.
Yeah. I love the way you put it, coaching being forward facing and co-creating. Um, for me, that's where all the fun is. So it's uh, uh, it's amazing. So I'm curious about your coaching. Um, kind of maybe you can share with us like who you're coaching in terms of like is there a niche or a specific group that you're coaching or aspiring to coach, and how do you work like in terms of modalities or the kinds of experiences people could expect from your coaching?
Well, I'm happy to share that.
Yeah.
It's well, I mean, coaching works for anyone, and especially coming to it from the perspective that both of us studied under. It is about the essence of being human,
Mm,
who we really are, and the fact that we create our experience moment to moment. So that not being reality per se in an objective sense,
mm,
the fact that it changes every thought, emotion, and feeling that I or you or anyone watching this has ever had before this one has come and gone, which is an amazingly liberating thing to know. I recently, yeah, there was a 12-year-old girl that I know, and she was just absolutely flabbergasted by the idea that she is not her thoughts.
mm,
It was such a huge liberation from a period where it's not easy being that age, and the whole thing about friends and where you stand in life.
yeah.
And she was having difficult thoughts about that, and that knowledge itself was like a quick release for her. So I I can't say I coach anyone because I don't. I
Mm,
coach the clients that I have, but it's about helping people see their lives now with greater clarity
mm,
and conceive what kind of life they can have ahead of them. People might be in a position where things are not so great and they want things to be easier, better, freer,
mm,
clearer, calmer. People can be living wondrous lives. Many leaders from the outside, you just think, well, they're smashing it. They're hitting every single target, life target that society tells us is important. But maybe they're not so happy inside. Maybe
mm,
there are struggles that they wish to address. So yes, in theory, it can be anybody. That I feel a particular affinity for people who have gone through or are going through challenge and adversity.
mm,
We all do. That's one of the things about being alive. I mean, it's almost like a reward for still being in the game.
mm,
Many loved ones aren't. So yeah, just because I've had so much challenge and adversity in my life,
mm,
and it feels like I've been reborn so many times. I love helping people through such moments, and to see them, yeah, realize that challenge and adversity is a gateway to what comes next.
mm,
It's yeah, ultimately, and I'm not the first person to say this, it is all gift. It's life,
mm,
which is truly amazing. And we're the one who puts labels on whether an experience or an occurrence or an encounter is good or bad. But they're all part of life. And yes, things that are difficult are potential areas, springboards for growth.
mm,
But yeah, I feel really strongly. I've just recently applied to work with a local organization of people who have cancer,
mm,
and just a really wonderful local community that puts on all kinds of activities and therapy. And of course, community,
mm,
that's such an important part of
yeah,
human existence, true nourishment. And yeah, it feels, I really hope that I can work with human beings who are traversing difficult moments. Their life horizon may have seemed to have shrunk or changed, but it is all life. And, life, well, and I have to say, I also speak with a degree of experience. My wife, my life partner of 25 years, died of cancer
mm,
um, more than a decade ago now. And yeah, obviously enormously sad, and
mm,
more than that for her and for our young son at the time too. But it was it was amazing the radiance that flowed through her during that period, how her nature, she just became pared down to the true essence, the beautiful, generous, caring, altruistic human being that she was.
mm,
And she touched so many people. I would rather not have lived through that and experienced it and still be with her, but that's as bad as it can get. And
mm,
yet, the purity of our love. It was strange actually. There was a friend in common who had lost his wife to cancer, who I spoke to as she entered that journey. It was a 15-month journey. And he said that with his wife, their love just became so completely clear
mm,
and radiant, crystalline. Just all of the difficult dynamics fell away. And I didn't understand it. I felt almost offended by it.
mm,
Um, like, how can you say such a thing? And I repeat, it's the opposite of what I would ever have chosen.
mm,
But even in such situations, life can flow at its absolute fullest.
mm. Yeah, I love that. The word that's coming up in my head is hope. I think in
Mm,
um, at the beginning of The Missing Link by Sid Banks, he says something like, there are those who don't believe in miracles, but I can assure such skeptics that with hope and faith as beacons, anything is possible.
mm,
And even in the face of tragedy, um, the hopefulness of surviving our loved ones and um, that love that you spoke about radiating from your wife. I'm sure that's something you carry with you into your relationships with your
Absolutely.
clients and people you interact with. Um, yeah, it's
I try.
yeah,
I'm a human being,
yeah,
so it's
absolutely.
that's why I will preface it with I try. But
Yeah,
it's yeah, it feels like an honor to be with people along that path to facilitate because as you know the answers in coaching it's not the coach
yeah,
who brings answers. It's the truth and wisdom that we all have at the center of our being.
yeah.
We don't always have access to it, but with enough silence and just moving out of our assailing habitual thought loops,
Mm,
it's incredible what each and every one of us can glimpse.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm curious if you have a story you'd like to share about how coaching. I mean, you already shared one with that 12-year-old girl realizing that she is not her thoughts
Mm.
or her thinking. If there's another story of an experience of either yourself or a client through coaching has helped them in their lives.
Oh, yeah, I mean, every client, it's a variation on the theme. I mean,
Mm,
the clients that I've had so far, I've had two or three in moments of transition. I suppose people I haven't worked yet with so many young people, but
mm,
I'm reaching out and hoping to start work soon with one or two new clients. But with people who are a little bit further along and who have maybe been doing what they do for a long time, maybe been very successful at it, but the question arises, is this it?
mm,
What else might there be for me? So I have a few clients in that position. Um, and that also, well, as so often, it doesn't have to be this way, but it mirrors my own journey.
mm.
I've moved into coaching, and that's a new life. I mean, a rebirth. So yeah, I suppose I'm a bit loath to go into specifics just for
Yeah, absolutely.
the confidentiality aspect, but there is this common strand through it, which is that yeah, there is a new life there for us.
Mm,
It's there and waiting, and we can proactively choose to explore what that may be, carrying all of the other parts of us with it, the moments of doubt and fear,
yeah,
which are not an impediment. On the contrary, quite often they're a signpost that we're moving in the right direction.
yeah, absolutely. It's what you said earlier about co-creation keeps coming back to me from the standpoint
Mm.
of you know presupposed in the idea that a coach and their client are co-creating the future is the fact that we can do such a thing. That we can play an active role in creating the life that we want to live. And I know my experience with people I've worked with, when I ask them kind of what is your dream come true result type question, if you could think
Mhm.
about a year from now or 5 years from now, and everything was exactly the way you'd want it to be, uh, what would that look like? And the most common answer I get is I don't know, because what I find is people haven't asked themselves that question very much, and when they do get asked that question, it's almost like they don't feel like they have permission or they're not worthy or
Mm.
they're not capable of creating something beyond what is just handed to them. So I love exploring that idea
Yeah,
with people and expanding the
yeah.
kind of the possibilities for them.
It's truly beautiful. I mean, an honest answer too is I don't know.
Mm,
I mean, I don't know
yeah,
where I'll be in 5 years, and we can have an inkling maybe, but yeah, maybe it's this particular approach to coaching, and it's every single person has a concept of life and change and meaning, whether
mm,
that's believing in God or the universe or higher powers or the divine spark, or maybe not, or fate, or, it's all up to me. Everybody has that idea.
yeah,
Um, but we're here now and we've been through so many different iterations of ourselves. So we have the proof
yeah,
that life is about change. And the idea of playing an active part of that, even just the fact of setting out to do that,
yeah,
regardless of outcomes and results,
yeah,
is incredibly strong. It has a huge effect. It means that we no longer feel buffeted by events and other people.
mm,
They're all out there. But then it's up to us, our perception of what happens in our lives and what we do with that. That's the space where we have potentially at least full control, and
mm,
coaching can help with the clarity to frame things in a way that carries us forward, that brings us more joy in life,
mm.
more calm, more peace, more fulfillment.
You mentioned life unfolding as a gift, and wonder if you'd like to explore that a little more, just in terms of what does that mean for you and for your clients when you can receive what's going on in your life as a gift? What does that open up for you?
Mm. Yeah, that's a great question. It's such a short phrase. Life is a gift.
Mm,
And two of the words are barely there at all. But what it points to is that we're alive, and as long as we're alive, as you said, there is hope and there is love,
mm,
there is meaning, there is serving, there is joy. And the idea of conceiving of life as a gift, it looks beyond the labels that we may put on things, whether an event is good or bad,
mm,
chosen or not. Yes, there's a degree of truth in that, but we don't see the whole picture. We never can. We're subjective individuals, and we don't see the whole pathway because we're in this now
mm,
at a certain stage along the way. So an event that can be tragedy, there's an after.
mm,
There are things that happen beyond that. There are experiences. There's the wisdom that we can learn. There's the corridors that we head down that we would never, ever have walked into, with
mm,
doors leading off it. Not a novel metaphor, but I
mm,
can't think of anything better. So this is what I'm sharing.
yeah,
And looking inside those rooms, who knows what we find?
mm,
It's an openness to the unknown. I think it's if you conceive life as a gift,
mm,
because we're not shutting off. We're not wearing blinkers. We're not shutting off possibility. Yeah, it becomes easier to recognize what there is for us now and what there
mm,
can be going forwards. And the unknown is, it sort of feels like a blessed space.
mm,
It can feel dangerous too, but it's adventure and it's new experience.
yeah,
It's living life almost as a game and less judgment of
mm,
ourselves and of where we are on that path.
yeah.
Just let things flow so much better.
I know for me, one of the benefits of training as a coach and being a coach for the last 4 or 5 years has been, uh, I'd say I was, maybe a 1 out of 10 comfort level with the unknown, and now I'm
Mm,
a 9 out of 10 most days.
mm,
um, you know, the I spent so many years, especially my corporate career, um, in the headspace of thinking I needed to know things. Not knowing something was so uncomfortable and so debilitating. And now I think of the unknown as a playground, like
mm.
you know, um, like there's nowhere I'd rather be, because it's like that's where all the fun happens, in the unknown.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, that's a really good way of of framing it. And yeah, what it makes me think of, I suppose, is a historical reference, but Donald Rumsfeld,
Mm,
roundly pilloried for talking about known knowns, known unknowns,
mm,
unknown knowns, and unknown unknowns.
mm,
Um, but what I find really interesting in that is yeah, just knowing what you don't know, even if, there are so many people out there who have remarkable, amazing brains that retain everything they've ever come across, but it's just an infinitesimal part of the knowable.
yeah,
And that in itself is also what our physiology, how we're set up, is capable of seeing.
mm,
How we see things, the physical process of vision
mm,
is different in every creature.
yeah,
Which one's reality, which isn't?
yeah,
They're all working hypotheses that serve us as tools.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm really, interesting that you're at 9/10.
Yeah.
The,
Most
the other
most
tenth,
days.
the other tenth is still unknown.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm,
It's funny too, you mentioned not being able to see the whole picture and what it made me think of. I had a recent experience. So I published my book recently, and
congratulations.
thank you. And one of the folks that I reached out to on LinkedIn to inform them of my book messaged me back, said they noticed a spelling error in the title of my book on Amazon. And I was like, oh my God, don't tell me. So I go on. Sure enough, I missed a letter in potential. Funny enough, even though I literally have potential tattooed on my arm, so I have like a spelling reference I could check at any moment. But um, it reminded me of I've coped with a spelling issue my whole life. Like spelling has always been kind of my Achilles heel,
Mm,
and um, and it brought me back to grade four. So I might have been, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 years old, something like that. I can't remember. And I this particular teacher I had in grade four gave me a really hard time about my spelling. My mom had to come into the school and I had to do all this extra work and I don't know. And for my whole life, um, I mean, this sounds hard, but this is like a kid's version of it. I hated this teacher. Like he made my life miserable.
mm,
Anyway, fast forward from that age to all the way now as a 53-year-old man and having this issue with the spelling of the title of my book on Amazon. And I realized the realization I had, it made me think of him and it made me realize looking back at that situation, it's like, oh yeah, I think he just genuinely wanted to help me because he
mm,
knew that spelling was important and he didn't want me to go through my whole life uh, uh, held back by not being able to spell things. And my whole view of him, I mean, it's not like I've thought about him often, if at all, over the last 40 years, but I realized like deep down there was still this energy around this person. And now, all these years later, I can see it in a completely different way and
mm.
let that go and be grateful for what he attempted to do. Um, and anyway, it's a very minor thing in the scope of life, but this idea of we can't always see the whole picture. Sometimes it takes
Yeah.
40 years or longer
Well,
to figure something out.
what he did has lasted all this time.
Yeah,
And you're a multi-book author.
yeah,
Who knew if he saw that in you?
yeah,
But he by helping you to not feel that you're lacking anything, that you have everything you need to achieve your goals,
yeah,
here you are.
yeah,
And yeah, I'm also curious. I mean, spotting that error, how much of a problem was that?
yeah. Well, I thought it was going to be as simple as I'll just go on and correct it, but of course, life is never that simple because in Amazon, the title is part of the metadata. It's something that once you publish, you cannot change. So the solution
Wow.
was I just had to republish the book
Mm.
with the corrected title, which just means, yeah, it's not a big deal. Like there's always a solution. So, um,
There's always a potential solution
yeah,
if I can make a dad joke.
yeah, yeah. But I made the best out of it, and I did a whole post about it and used it as grist for the mill. And um,
Mm.
I'll admit I probably spent 30 seconds in the shame spiral of thinking, how could I be so stupid and embarrassed and whatever, and then just like, yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? So what? I'm
Well,
not the first person to ever make a spelling mistake, so
back to 12-year-old you. And then,
yeah,
as you said, it then became a springboard
yeah,
to something else because you're honestly sharing the process.
yeah, absolutely,
And who knows how many other people you've touched and connected with because of that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's one small example of and I'm sure even though that's a 40-year time horizon of seeing a clearer picture, I'm sure there's still another 40 years of life hopefully to be had, and the puzzle may reveal itself to be even something different again.
Yeah. And who knows how many books you will have published by then.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Cool. Um, this has been a great conversation. I'm wondering if there's one thing you'd want people to take away from this, or one thing that you'd want people to know, what would that be?
Ah, wow. That's the kind of thing should have maybe thought of before I
Mm,
arrived here at this question. One thing. Well, coaching. It's find somebody you connect with and see what you can do in life.
mm,
It's that simple. It's if I was advertising myself, then I'd say look me up.
mm,
Find my email wherever that may be on this page. But it's about human connection. That's what does the work because we do have this core that we share,
mm,
and that feeling of being seen, of not being alone, of being part of a community, even if it's a community of two, is so powerful. And we can, yeah, I mean, well, it's been said before in this interview, but life is a gift. So
mm,
go explore it, go play with it,
yeah,
go have adventures. And coaching is such a great way for those adventures to not just follow the deep ruts and tracks that we've followed before, that come from our past and
mm,
perceived ideas of who we are. We're potentially so much more.
absolutely. You mentioned email. If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, Adam Victor Coaching at gmail.com,
Mm,
or get in touch with you. You're good at this game.
yeah,
Um, but it's yeah, but for now that's the easiest way, and there's more coming,
great.
but that will lead people to me. And yeah, I just want to thank you for your time and generosity and
Yeah,
sharing in providing this opportunity to me and so many other coaches. It's a beautiful thing.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's my pleasure. I always get something from these conversations myself, so it's kind of you know a self-serving uh, task in some sense. But yeah, I love connecting with people and seeing what they're up to and being able to share that with the world. So thank you for being my guest, and we'll see you again soon.
Yep, with great pleasure.
All right,
Take care,
thanks,
Greg.
Adam. Take care.